Were you aware that today is International Older Persons Day?
No, never heard of that. Wow. I never heard of that.
Yeah, well, it's
That's a
October
new
1st.
one. Wow. I hear about Grandparents' Day and Mother's Day, Father's Day, Children's Day. And this one is what?
International Older Persons Day.
Oh, I never heard of that.
Well, in honor of it, I was like, you know what? Let me call and interview my favorite older person.
Wow. Jeez. That's a new one on me. That just came up, must be.
I need to look and see what year they came up with this, but I don't think it's brand
Mhm.
new. This,
No?
no, this isn't like the first year. I'm pretty sure
Wow.
it's been going on for a little.
Oh,
So I got two questions for you. So the first question, in talking to some of my friends have parents that are older and their parents are not as mobile as they used to, and they see you and they're like, your mom is all over the place. She going places, doing things, driving, and like their parents have like not they don't do that sort of stuff anymore. So I wonder for you, what is it like having to like see your friends not do as much? Like how does that feel?
well, I feel lucky for one point because I did attend last year. Lisa mother had an 80th birthday party,
Hmm.
and some of her friends was one. The lady was there. Who's this? Hi. Okay, bye. She wanted to know if my TV was on for her to see The Young and the Restless because she is so mad it went off. I said, something wrong with your TV or the people in your area working on something because I saw all of it. So she told me she gonna call them and give them a piece of her mind. Ain't gonna help none.
No, it's already off.
Yeah. So I was telling you about Lisa's Monday birthday party. So
Right.
this one lady came and said she was older than Lisa Mama, that she was 81. So then I said, gee whiz, I'm I must have been 80. I was 83 then, by 82 or whatever. And she said, you are, you know, like like she didn't believe my age or something like that. And she had a walker.
Mhm.
She had a walker.
Uh-huh.
So I said to myself, gee whiz, wow. I thought she was older than me, because she came in there with a walker. So
Hmm.
then I said to myself, I guess those years that I worked at the park, walking back and forth to work every day probably strengthened my legs and my knees. Why I can get around better than they have. So I said you never know, and arthritis is going to hit you or
Right.
something like that. So you can't say, you know, I'm never going to have a pain in my knee or I'm not going to be a son. But the truth of the matter is, Mama, my mother, lived to be 89, and Mama never used a walker and
Right.
ever lived to be 97. I never didn't use a walker. So I said, maybe, because the lady asked me, this white lady, and she said, you are 84. I said, yes, I'm 84. And she said, oh, well, do you do? Or what did I do or something? So I just jokingly said, I guess I got good genes, you know, like
Uh-huh.
I can't tell you why, I have problem with my knees or can't get around or something or need a cane like you. So I just, you know, not trying to make nobody feel bad, but just say, gee whiz, I guess them years when I was walking when I was younger and kept them more or less active rather than sitting down doing nothing, you know.
Uh-huh.
Like some people sit down all day and just look at TV. I told them every day when I get up, I go outside. You know, I told you I got them tomato plants outside. I went out there this morning. I said, gee whiz. So every morning I get up and go and look at them and talk to them, and they need a little sand. And so, oh, you need some help. Let me get a little, and then, you know, the strings you get off like your bread thing. I
Uh-huh.
got them and I tied onto a string and make them
Hold them
stand
up.
up again.
Right.
So I said, I guess, you know, doing stuff like that rather than sitting down all day in front of the TV and hardly move. And then this Fitbit that Jimmy gave me, sometimes he said, oh, Helen, give me some steps or something. Sometimes he said stuff like that.
Right.
You know, if I just sit down for a while and over an hour or so, and I'd something to see how many steps I got or whatever. Because when that water heater burst, when I went to bed that Wednesday night after that thing burst, I had made 10,000, over 10,000 steps that day. And I had never done that before. I was surprised. I didn't know it can go up that high. Because, you know, I do like most likely 2 or 3,000 at the most in a day.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes 4, few times 5, but never 10,000 steps in one day. I was shocked just seeing that. So maybe just getting around and doing things, you know, keep your bones active, because they said that's one thing. Exercise, your diet, what you eat, and taking your medication and stuff like you have it regularly. Because they said you're supposed to take it about the same time every day.
Right.
So I guess maybe I'm just doing some of the right things I should be doing, I guess.
Okay. Okay. And what do you think is the best part about being older?
Part about being older, Lord, I don't know that. Um, wow. Best part of being older. Ay. Well, it gives you a little bit of clout sometime in some places.
Like
Just
good,
like, huh?
like getting a good seat someplace, or
Well, sometimes that, you know, that don't work all the time. But well, just like being a dove, that mean I got over 50 years in Zeta, and usually if we go somewhere, do some, oh, let the doves go first or whatever, you know, so you don't have to walk in the crowd or try to keep up with everybody else and stuff like that. In some of the ways like that. But most of the time when, you know, somebody asks my age and they tell it like, I never didn't like to tell anybody how old she was. I don't know why. I mean, she
you
thought
would
that was insulting.
she would tell everybody else's age, but she wouldn't tell her
Well,
own.
exactly right. I mean, she can tell you, you know, Uncle Boy age, mama, my daddy, which I never hear my mama never say how old my daddy was. But I never knew everybody's age. And she would be proudly talking about them, but don't ask about hers because she get highly insulted.
This is true.
So I said that, you know, I am happy to live this long. You know, a lot of people don't.
Right.
So, you know, be grateful that you're still around. I mean, you know, it's nothing that no goodness or nothing you do, you know, make you live longer than anybody else. Just
Right.
be grateful that you are alive.
Awesome. Awesome. I think those are perfect answers. Thank you, Mom.
Well, most of the time, you know, like some people, well, this lady, she is 90 something years old. And, you know, I call her occasionally, and she said she has stopped driving and sold her car or something. This guy that live in her apartment bought her car or something because she hardly ever drive it, maybe once or twice a month or something. And
Mhm.
she would go maybe to the store or something. But now, you know, she goes to St. Patrick Catholic Church. So the people there, like that live in her direction. They pick her up and take her to church and take her to Bible study and do different things. But she has never mentioned her age. And I know she's in probably her mid-90s or older. I don't know how old she is. But for some reason, you know, if the subject come up or something about age, she'll just laugh like, hey, 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 hey. I'm not going to tell my age. Why not? Why you don't want to tell your age? I don't see any point what you get out of not wanting people know how old you are. I don't see it's nothing to hide, in my opinion.
I mean, you can't hide it, but so much because people can figure it out if they want to.
If they want to, yeah. Well, the fact that I started school at 5 instead of 6, I graduated a year ahead of what I should have.
Mm-hmm.
So most people, when we go to that National Alumni thing, that John Funny, he always at the meeting want to know who's the oldest people there, whatever. And so he started out with oh, I know nobody here graduated before 1960. So I said, yeah, me. So he said, you? So I said, yeah. And I said, yeah, I graduated in 1957. Miss Wickfall, you? Like I wasn't telling the truth. So I said, John, what make you think that I, not have to not say I graduated in 1957. That's the year when I graduated from South Carolina State College, Well, and then some people will say, wow, well, I know how old you are now. Well, you near what you think I should be, but you don't know my age, you know. But I should be a year older. When brother started school, and brother was 2 years older than me, well, brother started when we lived on Solomon's Island, and back when brother started, they had a 2-room school there for the Black kids. And he did the first year there in the 2-room school, and I guess he got more kids than the 1 teacher or 2 teacher can handle, must be. So they closed it down. All of us had to ride the city bus to go to Lang School in Mount Pleasant. So then when my daddy asked brother to write his name or something, and brother write B-R-O-W, so he said, you finished 1st grade and can't write your name? So that's my name, Noel, B-R-O-W. And then daddy said it's B-R-O-W and brother. No, daddy, that's the and, B-R-O-W and, that's the and. So daddy told mama, when you put him in last school, put him back in 1st grade because he don't know how to spell his name. His name is B-R-O-W and, not no B-R-O-W. So mama put him in 1st grade. And the fact that mama took me along when she went to put brother in 1st grade. The teacher told brother to find, sit anywhere you want to. I guess she must have maybe 15 kids, I guess, in the classroom, whatever. I don't know how many she had. But there were plenty of empty seats. So brother went and sat down. And back then, whatever brother did, I just followed him and went behind him. I took a seat too. And we were about the same size, the height.
Mm-hmm.
So when mama got ready to go, I said, come on, I just brought you with me so we can put brother in school. So teacher said, oh, let her stay. She about the same size of Noel. And, because in fact, I was a little taller than some of the kids who were 6 years old.
Oh, wow.
To tell the truth. So she said, gee whiz, it was about maybe three or four little girls there were shorter than I was. And she said, she bigger than some of these girls who are 6 years old. Let her stay, let her stay. I don't know, maybe she had 10 or 12 kids. I don't know how many kids are in the class, but she didn't have a class. She didn't have a class full of kids.
Right.
So she told me that I could stay. So therefore I stayed. And so therefore I stayed in first grade. And the fact I was telling you, when brother was going to school in first grade, mama had bought me pad and pencil and crayon just like he had, because I would try to write in his book and stuff, his school books.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore the things he learned, that mama would let me, had my pad and stuff where I could write and do numbers and try write my name and stuff. So, I was like 4 years old when he went to school. He was 6 years old.
Right.
So mama let me do these things to keep me from scratching and writing his pads and stuff at school.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, I knew, I guess I knew how to write my name, just like you and Vet and them, Sharon and them, at 4 or 5. So a lot depends on your parents, and not just let you sit up and look at TV all day. You do learn a few things from Sesame Street.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like kids seem to pick up songs and stuff right away. I don't know how they learn that, just hearing it, and they can repeat it.
Mm-hmm.
But so I don't know. So I guess I'm happen to be, if I got good genes, I happen to be some of the lucky ones. But you can see on the doctors and things where they show you some people 400 and 500, 600 pounds and start doing weight, and they lose the weight. Your skin don't draw up. They said once you don't stretch it, you have to go and have surgery to get you, for them to cut some of that extra skin, the flab,
Mm-hmm.
once you lost that weight. Because they say once you stretch your skin, whereas the fact though, people can have babies for 9 months and stretch the kids. Some people have 4 and 5. And I guess when you're younger, got more elastic in it. And, if you try to do things to bring back your figure back, your stomach wouldn't be big bag and hanging out like when you were carrying the baby.
Right. Right.
The same thing when I had y'all, that I know, I think it was Florence. I know you don't remember Florence because you really left Okinawa when you was 3 months old. But she was saying that, I don't know, it was some friend of hers, and she want to know, how come you go back to your normal size? Well, you go back to your normal size if you don't try to eat a lot and stretch it more or whatever, or don't do nothing to try not to bring it back to your normal size. I
Right.
think,
I agree.
well, then everybody's skin ain't the same. Whereas you see some that stomach flatter than people who never had children,
Right.
Whereas some, again, they have 2 kids and then their stomach all big and flabby and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So it just depends, you know. Like I say, I guess it depends on what kind of genes you inherit, number one, and doing things to keep you, from not what blowing up, because it's much easier to put that weight on than taking it off.
True.
I don't
And
know how that works, but it is.
well, I guess that's a thing too, that you haven't dealt with weight issues or anything to put extra stress on your joints. So now
Bones.
you
Right.
have
Yeah.
problems
Yeah.
like other
Yeah.
people that maybe are overweight and older. So
Right. Yeah. Well,
I
that makes quite a difference. Make quite a difference because, yeah. Well, some people say, well, you ain't never had a fat day in your life or something like that. No, I don't think at any point I've ever been obese, you know?
Mhm.
But,
All right. Well, thank you for answering my couple of questions.
wow.
on International Older Person
Woo.
Day. Thank you.
Wow, wow, wow.